Three. Right in a bucket. 3, 2, 1. It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movie. This week, the streaming continues. No theaters open yet in our neck of the woods, but maybe someday. We'll see. Directors and actors, beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim. Hello, Jim.
Hey, hey.
And who's the man? Murray's the man. Hey there, Merman.
Yo.
So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
Well, thanks to who all have been supporting us so far. If you love our independent podcast, please support us and join the growing Film Rage community by joining our membership at buymeacoffee.com/filmrageYYC. All members get special episodes and content only for members, and all members that sign up will get a special limited edition Film Rage merch item. If you cannot commit to a membership, you can still buy us a movie rental and dare us to see a terrible movie. Shout out to our biggest listening state still, Colorado, and our biggest listening province in Canada, Alberta. We thank y'all for being number one in our supporters. Go Rams, and yeah!
Canyon Meadows cinemas are open for their delicious concessions. Popcorn, corn dogs, mini donuts, and more. Open Thursdays 4 to 9, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday 12 to 9 for takeout via curbside pickup. Just go to canyonmeadows.ca and enter your order. And by the way, by being one of our faithful Film Rage listeners, you can get 15% off. Just enter the promo code RAGEON. That's RAGEON to claim your 15% discount. Or if you would rather have your snacks delivered, that is possible as well through Skip the Dishes, Uber Eats, and DoorDash throughout Calgary. For more details, visit canyonmeadows.ca. And here, CMC would like to thank you for your continued support, and we hope to see you again soon at the cinema.
You know what I feel like? I feel like I want to dance. And
yeah, we're streaming. All right, so let's kick it off with a film that was on Netflix called Blue Miracle.
and it's not the one that has the whale.
There's a Blue Miracle whale movie?
Yeah, who knew?
Huh. You sure it's not that one? I thought I watched a whale. No, wait.
I'm pretty sure I didn't.
It was a whale of a tale, that's for sure.
Yeah, sure. Whale of a tale. So 2021's Blue Miracle. Cash-strapped orphanage teams with washed-up boat captain to enter a fishing contest to save their home. Who knew the prize for a fishing contest could be a life-changing amount of money? The focus seems to be on Wade, the previously mentioned washed-up boat captain, played by Dennis Quaid, and Omar, the guardian for the orphanage, played by Jimmy Gonzalez. How you doing?
I don't know. I don't think it's Jimmy Gonzalez, so is it?
Isn't it?
No, I think it's Raymond. Isn't it Raymond Cruz?
Is it?
I think so.
You sure?
Whatever.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Huh.
What do you know?
Who's Jimmy Gonzalez?
I don't know.
Was he on LA Law?
I think he was on
That's Jimmy
LA Law.
Smits.
That's Jimmy. There's a bunch of Jimmys. Hey, it's me. It's Jimmy.
It's Jimmy.
Okay, sorry. What's the guy's name?
I think his name is Raymond Cruz.
Raymond Cruz. You sure about that?
I think so.
Okay.
He played
I don't
Hector,
know.
right? Raymond Cruz played Hector. Jimmy Gonzalez played Omar.
No, Omar.
Oh, okay. There you go. So you were right. It's
Yeah.
actually Jimmy
you know.
Gonzalez.
Yeah, okay. That was fantastic.
That was an awesome conversation.
It really wasn't. So anyway, so I was right in the first place. Omar, the guardian for the orphanage, played by Jimmy Gonzalez. Although if you ask Jim, he seems to think that his name wasn't his name and that someone else was in charge of the orphanage, and it was played by someone else.
Raymond Cruz, who played Hector.
Yeah, Hector he was one of the kids, right?
No,
I don't know. Who was Hector?
he's a guy in the movie.
It was.
I remember Hector.
Yeah, he was cool.
He was. Was
Hector cool?
Wasn't he the old guy on the boat?
No,
Like the really old guy?
nope.
The old guy.
Oh,
That's
Him.
That's Bruce McGill.
no.
No,
Guy
on the boat. Is it like his the dude?
Wait, Dennis Quaid?
No, Dennis Quaid in the.
Dennis Quaid's old guy.
This is the worst episode ever. Okay.
We saw a movie called Blue Miracle from 2021 on
Yeah.
Netflix.
Based on a true story.
Okay, so I'm gonna repeat what I just said. The focus seems to be on Wade, the previously mentioned washed-up boat captain, played by Dennis Quaid, and Omar, the guardian for the orphanage, played by Jimmy Gonzalez.
True enough.
I think there are a few
Alright.
kids in there too, but
That left very little time for development of the characters that I needed to care about for this to be effective. And those people I was supposed to care about were the kids. They all seem to be one-note roles with stereotypical overtones. If I'm to care about the orphanage, then first I need to care about the children. The first 1 hour plus played out without me caring much. The last 20 minutes, they did their best to make me feel some emotion. But that needed to be developed through the whole picture in order for it to be effective. The film was pretty to look at as when they were on the water, and the end was reasonably inspiring, but on the whole thing fell flat. It is a film that took an overexploited subject and chose the wrong characters to develop, which made this film a very low meh.
Well, so Merman, you saw this one, didn't you? You like movies about
I
whales
did.
and boat captains, don't you?
I don't know about that. I enjoy sports movies, which is what this basically pretty much was. It was about fishing.
It was a sports movie about fishing.
Yeah, and Dennis Quaid, surprise, surprise, he's still around. Yeah, I don't know. The story was okay, and I was surprised to learn at the end actually it was a true story. It's like, oh, this actually happened. Okay, whatever. And yes, I had to admit it is my favorite place in Mexico. So I love the scenery, as I've been there twice. And Cabo is just awesome.
Cabo's Wabo, baby.
It just, I don't know. It just the plot just, it was the same as every other sports movie I've seen. To me, it was like Bad News Bears with like little cool runnings, and you throw in little Mighty Ducks in there, and then sled on a fishing boat.
All your favorite movies.
That was pretty much it. But yeah, it was a meh. It was okay. I did like Bruce McGill though, but he should have had a bigger part.
So let me tell you what I thought about this non-whale movie called Blue Miracle.
Yeah, where are all the whales?
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for. But
Apparently
this
the Marlins ate them.
2021 version of Blue Miracle didn't have any whales. So I thought there were some very clever shots in this film. The style was fairly creative, blending in CGI and real filming together. Also, it may have been one of the first movies I have seen in a long time where you have an entire movie of CLFs and not one of them annoyed me. Bryce, what's wrong with me?
We don't have enough time for that, Jim.
Exactly.
Okay, so I am personally, even though he wasn't in this film a lot, I am a huge fan of Raymond Cruz, but he wasn't in it long enough. He is fantastic, and why this movie wasn't about him, the character of Hector, is beyond me. The story is a very typical down and outs underdog story with orphans. Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid.
I think I've heard of him somehow.
You know, I don't even know how I feel about Dennis Quaid. Like, I was watching this movie and I'm like, do I hate him? Do I like him? I don't know. So, let's get back to Dennis Quaid a little later. It's a biopic. So I know I waited this long to bring up the fact that it was a biopic. This isn't my type of film. I mean, it's an underdog biopic, as Murray had already alluded to, sports movie about fishing with CLFs in it, which are three of my least favorite genres, all rolled into one. So my review will be fairly biased. I didn't hate this movie. It didn't super annoy me. I mean, it's corny, predictable, and it's not really at all original. But those damn kids, they just didn't piss me off. Everyone is happy and life is great and everybody lives happily ever after. Sometimes feel-good stories just don't make me rage. They just make me go, Dennis Quaid? Huh. I don't think I feel as much about Dennis Quaid as I do about this movie. They were both meh.
Yeah.
And you know what that means?
There you go.
Nice. Yeah, this movie was kind of, I already forgot what happened in it. Can someone remind me what happens?
They catch a fish.
They caught a fish.
Yeah.
Oh, right. It was a big fish, right?
And did you see what they showed at the end? Like, they showed this orphanage that spans over I don't know,
acres and
5 kilometers, and
yeah,
there's tennis courts and
yeah, it's funny. They needed $100,000
pitches, and
they needed $100,000 to save the orphanage, but $200,000 they could build a mansion. So
yeah.
Well, it goes to show you what you can buy in Mexico whenever this film was supposedly taking place in.
I think
$100,000.
I think what happened. I think Dennis Quaid got stuck in Mexico during the pandemic and couldn't go anywhere, so he decided to shoot a movie with Mexican people. That's what I think happened.
Maybe.
But yeah, it was okay. It was just okay.
It was meh. All around. Yeah. Okay, well, what did we talk about? Cruella De Meh. So it's a live action prequel featuring feature film following a young Cruella De Meh. And it was somewhat on VOD because it was on Disney Plus, but it was Disney Plus-tastic.
Still charge you for it.
$35 later, we got to see Cruella.
Wow.
And
a bargain at half the price.
Our discussion about this movie is going to have a big impact on what happens later in our episode on our list. So stay tuned, people. What we talk about here right now could have a big effect on the Undoubted Emma. So be careful. So I hate period pieces. I hate films with CLFs. I hate live action versions of animated films. I hate sequels of origin stories. I hate expanded universes in said story of either. So did not have too much hope that this was going to be palatable in any possible way. I should have guessed that Craig Gillespie had a little bit of a hope, though, for a decent film. After all, he did make I, Tonya. So that gave me a little bit of hope. But I love great music put well into films. So 13 minutes in, and I'm at a crossroads because the motherfucking music in this film was so brilliant and made me want to dance all the way up until the end of 13 minutes so far anyway. Plus, a kid that kills their only living parent got me super excited. Paul Walter Hauser and Emma Stone gave me so much joy. And goddamn motherfucker, did I not sing all the way through this entire movie. I was addicted to this soundtrack. I may even buy it. Damn you, Disney. I hate you so much. How could anyone hate anything in this film with a soundtrack that is that amazing? I almost felt it was a musical, but only with good music. And I think I'm not promising, but I think that I actually liked Emma Thompson again. I'm not saying for sure, but I'm saying I might have actually liked Emma Thompson again. Bryce, is there something wrong with me?
Once again, Jim, yes.
I believe you asked that question already.
We're all perfectly aware that there's just not something, but quite a bit wrong with you.
Okay, good. I was just checking because, the fact that I might like Emma Thompson again kind of scares me a bit.
What turned you off on her? I don't even remember.
This is so much darker than I remember Disney ever being. This is because of Craig, I think. Did they give him more play than they would normally give a director? I don't know. I wish this was called something else. I wish it didn't have to be tied to 101 Dalmatians. As an original idea, it's great, but making it tied to a cartoon just ate away at my soul. So dark, so evil, so Disney. I really, really, really did enjoy this movie. The LGBTQ representation, check. Ethnic diversity, check. Great story, check. Dark as fuck, check. Annoying that it is a live action version of a Disney cartoon universe, yeah, check. Put in things at the end to link to the original 101 Dalmatians, double check, which actually could have actually ruined this film. I'm not sure why Disney needs to now make Disney villains as anti-heroes. Maleficent and now this one. I really did not like this about the film, but I could forgive it for making it. The ending was corny, and the way Disney makes Disney really original Disney villains are not anti-heroes. They are just not. I liked a lot of this film. I don't like this new strain of anti-villains. Is this because when Disney gets the rights to Venom, they are going to make a team up of Maleficent, Cruella, and Venom in a movie together? That's just my prediction right now. Too long, too Disney at the end, but the music and the Emmas were great. It's a meh. Favorite line, "You're sweating and I can smell you."
Awesome. Cruella. In a nutshell, this was an origin story for the evil Cruella de Vil. It is an attempt to show how someone becomes the type of person who wants to skin 101 Dalmatians in order to make some coats. It was wall-to-wall camp to varying entertaining results. It was over 2 hours, and it kind of felt like it. Emma Stone in the role of Cruella was very good for the most part. She seemed to be having a good time playing this role, and it came through in her performance. Emma Thompson as Baroness von Hellman was cast perfectly. She was evil in a matter-of-fact way, and I found much pleasure in her nastiness. The supporting cast was good with Joel Fry and Paul Walter Hauser as Boris and Jasper. The music was tremendous, although with over 30 songs crammed into this movie, the film felt more like a music video than a motion picture. Included on this trip through the 60s and 70s pop were the likes of Supertramp, the Bee Gees, the Animals, Sandy Gay, the Rolling Stones, Joe Teck, the Zombies, Nancy Sinatra, the Doors, Nina Simone, the Ohio Players, Ike and Tina Turner, Susie Quattro, Deep Purple, ELO, Queen, Rose Royce, David Bowie, Blondie, Tony Martin, The Clash, the Jake Giles Band, Black Sabbath, and Judy Garland, as well as some others. This was an overstuffed soundtrack, but it worked well for the most part. Every scene basically got a popular song to set the tone. I guess this had to be over 2 hours to fit all that music in, but I'm not sure that the story needed to be that long. I'm not sure that the end of this, that I am any closer to understanding why Cruella would eventually want to kill puppies to make coats. I guess it was a fairly entertaining ride, but really, what was the point? This was a 2-hour music video and not really much of a film, although it was an entertaining 2-hour music video. Also, I would be remiss if I did not mention the CGI. It was not good, especially the Dalmatians. Enough said. Cruella was, I am not sure what the point of this was, and it really should have been darker, I thought, but I guess it had its moments, and the music was cool. Meh.
Yeah, it's funny because I think we pretty much felt the same way all the way through the movie.
Pretty much. We were enjoying the tunes.
You
How
cannot
could you not
hate this
enjoy the
movie.
tunes?
I know that. You know what? I just have to say, like, he nailed it. Like, he totally nailed it to make you go, okay, so if I have to make a fucking Disney movie, I'm going to
Yes.
make it so that you can't not love it because the music is so amazing.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
He's probably
like, I mean,
giddy every time he stuck a song in. He's like, oh,
he's
this
like,
is
oh,
so good.
you mean I can pick any music I want
That's all
and put it
It's like, yeah.
in this movie? No, you're
What
kidding
other
me,
movie?
right?
Yeah, what
You're
other
kidding me,
movie
right?
could do that?
Yeah,
No
it's
one
like-
else could do that unless they're
No.
working for Disney. Disney's just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it's
and a
like-
lot of
Yeah.
them in their library with like Hollywood records and all that.
Yeah, no, they could afford like $20 million for all the music rights to all those songs.
Yes.
I don't know how much they spent on this movie, but you know they made $70 off Bryce and I, so you know
Yeah, there you go.
they're doing
They're
okay right now.
rolling in it.
$35 for a movie.
Times how
Oh
many
my
people
I
watch
was
it.
just gonna say if they did do a soundtrack for this, it would have to be like a triple album because there's like 36 songs in it, and they're all like they all get pretty extended play too. It's not just like a little blurb;
Yeah,
it's like a whole scene.
It's
As I
like,
Or you
say,
you know,
could
it's a 2-hour music video.
Or you just
You know-
download all those songs from iTunes for about half the price.
yeah, you could turn off the sound and then just set out your own custom playlist from Spotify or something. But you know, I just we have to talk about these anti-heroes though. Like it's
Okay.
just annoying. I don't get it. Why do they need to have Maleficent? And now Cruella, it's like we're actually in love with Cruella. At the end of this movie is kind of the beginning of 101 Dalmatians, and it makes no sense.
That is the society we live in. People love the bad guy. That's why people are clamoring for the Venom movie. They want him to be more evil. That's what people love the bad guy. That's why they made Joker. Why do you go to see Batman? 90% of people go to see Batman to see the Joker, not to see Batman.
Yeah, but we're going to see we're going to see Batman with the Joker because the Joker's
Case
evil.
in point,
Not to like
Murray's
him.
got a poster behind him,
That's right.
and it's got the Joker on it. He's front and center. We
Just
love the
stop
bad
it.
guy, Jim. It's not going anywhere. And
I want to
and
love the
studios are
bad
gonna
guy
try to
because they're
capitalize
bad.
on it.
I liked
Yeah.
Emma Thompson. I mentioned? I think
Emma
I mentioned
Thompson?
this just once that Emma Thompson I actually like again.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what happened. What was it that made you not like her?
Okay, can I please just remind you of
Yeah.
the last two movies that we saw her in? Well, I'm going to say it. I'm going to assume. So the
Well,
last
I
one-
know one you didn't like.
Okay, so the very last one we saw before this movie was Doolittle.
Oh, was she in that?
Yes, and she was terrible. And
Okay,
then
there you
before
go.
that, she was even worse in the movie Men in Black International.
Yes, I know you.
Because
hate
that movie was truly deplorable, and she
I
was deplorable
liked it.
in
Is
it.
that really the
okay.
last two movies she was in?
Yes, it really
Okay.
is.
Well,
Okay,
she's
let's-
old. She isn't.
Oh, there's
acting
another
old
movie
anymore.
called How to Build a Girl, and yeah,
Ooh.
okay.
that
She was
is-
also in a movie called Last Christmas. So you know, it
I saw Last Christmas.
That was what's her name from Game of Thrones.
was it a rage, by the way?
Last Christmas, I gave
Yeah,
you my heart.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So was that movie a rage?
No, it was meh.
It wasn't. Okay. Well,
It was hey Jim, it was a holiday romantic comedy. How could
okay.
it go
So
wrong?
it sounds like a rage to me. So okay, you know what? This reminds me, as much as I now have Emma Thompson, renewed in my love for this one movie, I have a feeling I'm going to have to bring her up on the list coming up because I'm actually looking at her history of movies before that, and there's a lot of rage in this pile. A lot of rage.
Last Christmas is in there.
Yeah, it's a rage for me.
You
And I
haven't
don't
even
have to
seen
see
it.
I don't want to see it.
You should see it. Might have to
Movies
put
are
that in the old.
awful.
I might have to put that in the rage bag. Although you know what, it's not that bad. I think you'll like it.
I
think
don't
I would
think I
give you a
will.
treat. It would be
Bryce.
a tasty treat.
Bryce, I would like to introduce you
A nice
to
Christmas cookie. Nice
Christmas-
Christmas cookie.
me. Christmas movies and Jim do not mix.
But if it's a Christmas movie and it's a romantic comedy, sometimes you multiply two negatives together, you get a big positive.
Not those kind of negatives. That's like Negative rage times
Yeah,
negative rage is more is
math.
double negative.
It's math.
No, we're talking about this very soon. Okay, let's talk about our Shudder film of the week. I said Shudder.
Bum, bum.
Thank you. Film of the week. Skull. The Mask.
Or whatever the.
Now, Murray, you saw this,
Portuguese.
didn't you?
I did because you guys put it on the list,
All right.
and it was on
well,
the front. On the front page as soon as I went on to Shudder, so I'm assuming it's their pick for the week too.
well, is it our
You want me to
fried berry
start?
pick of the week? I don't know.
I don't
Murray,
know.
why don't you tell us what you thought?
All right. Well, there was a lot of blood. It was very gory. Not much of a plot to speak of, but I do want to talk about the Brazilian Scarlett Johansson, because the lady detective looked and sounded, even had the raspy voice like ScarJo.
But not
And-
the same quality of
and-
her skin complexion. She had
No,
some pretty
whatever,
bad
but-
skin tone
And she also kicked ass. So it's like,
and punch sticks.
that's all I needed right there. And the nightclub scene was freaking awesome. Just carnage everywhere. But yeah, you know me, movie with subtitles, so that's always a challenge. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I wouldn't give it a Mondo, but yeah, it was okay for a horror movie. I didn't really find it that scary, but yeah, it was like The Relic or The Ruins or all those other movies about, you know, an ancient relic that somebody unearths, and it's the wrong person gets their hands on it and people die.
and
So
voila, death
there you go.
occurs.
there you go.
Okay, well, I can tell by Bryce's look on his face, he's not so
He wasn't
fond of
impressed.
Skull the
Yeah.
Mask, which it had practical effects. I'm surprised why he's looking like
Had
this.
some practical effects. They kind of mixed in some other crap in there too.
Okay, Bryce, tell
Um,
us what you thought of.
What? I don't even know what the hell I was watching. Skull the Mask is a movie about
The mask.
a mask that is an ancient artifact, and
Mhm.
it seems to be able to kill on its own or while being worn by the person it is, I
Just
guess,
killed.
possessing. I don't.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah.
guess
Yeah.
it is seeking revenge for something. Maybe the plot
Maybe.
seems to morph as it goes along, and I'm not really sure what it was about. It was good fun at the start with an opening sequence with some solid B movie gore and silly action sequences. It then gets bogged down as we are introduced to characters that we do not care about and a plot that made little sense to me. This was a complete mess with no focus whatsoever. A lot of weird cuts where 1 second someone's heart is being ripped out and them struggling and reacting. And then we get an abrupt cut to a lifeless body. Very choppy, very frustrating. I hated the main character, Beatrice, and I'm not sure what the point of making her so unappealing was. The special effects were laughably bad, which was entertaining on some level. I
Yes,
suppose.
it was.
But overall, this film was barely watchable. It was a rage.
Oh,
Wow.
Brycey.
Even Brazilian ScarJo couldn't turn him around.
No, I guess
she
not.
turned
He
me
doesn't-
off. She was
he doesn't-
horrible.
He doesn't like Brazilian ScarJo.
Why would you?
Natalia
why would you-
Rodriguez.
Why would you
ScarJo?
write such an unappealing character as your lead? I don't understand.
Well,
She
let
is
me tell
terrible.
let me tell you all about it.
Uh,
Anyone else as you're watching this feel the influence of Indiana Jones in this flick?
No.
Yeah,
No.
it had a little bit of Indiana Jones in there with
Nope.
the
Not at all.
ancient relics and
It-
stuff.
I saw it as an Indiana Jones Second World War kind of arc of the Covenant feel done Portuguese gore style.
There
It
you
took
go.
its sweet time to get slash-tastic action happening. I'm not sure why one person puts on the mask at the beginning and his head explodes, which I'm not complaining about by no means. But then someone else, and voila, slash-tastic, super-tastic murder. Fun practical effects. They were funny and silly and dumb, which made me laugh most of the way through the movie. Had a nice level of gore, creative story idea, bringing Indiana Jones together with Jason Voorhees. My only problem was no one had a Brazilian. They were in Brazil, and not once did we know that anybody had a Brazilian. If you're going to make a movie in Brazil, somebody should at least have a Brazilian, or at least, at least one. Now, I was expecting at least one, and now I'm a little disappointed. Super hot ScarJo-like cop, as Murray had said.
That's right.
With bloody amulet scene changes, but weird scene changes. What was the bloody amulet? That confused me. I'll get out. Heart fetishes, interesting edits, basic film style, bad
Interesting
lighting,
edits.
and not. I'm using the word interesting and not great production values got me conflicted quite a bit as I'm watching it. But man, how could I stay mad at you? A fantastic gore party where Slashtastic, as I'm calling this demon, Slashtastic uses his machete to cut through red tape and probably much of everything. Bryce, what's the entrail weapon that Slashtastic's using? What do you call that entrail weapon?
Aren't those his horns?
But have you seen? No, it's like he had these
tentacles.
He had these little entrails that would come out, and he would use them as weapons.
They were like,
the skull.
intestines.
Yeah, I thought it was a skull. I thought it was his.
It looked like intestines to me, but they were just the whole thing was just stupid.
I wasn't sure why. Not saying I'm disappointed that there was some kind of.
And how can an intestine like
entrails.
hold a machete? I don't know.
Yeah, it was awesome. But the key to liking this movie, and if Bryce missed this, and maybe he turned away for just a second, but this one scene in the movie made this movie worth the entire price of admission, which is free if you have Shudder. When you use a tampon to stop the bleeding in your bullet hole, this takes the film to a whole nother level. I've never seen it. I'm glad it was in it. Yeah, this film was this film was a. I've never seen it. What'd you see it in?
I don't remember,
movie?
but I've seen it multiple times.
Was it Leprechaun 5? No, it wasn't Leprechaun 5. Yeah, so this film was a hot mess with seemingly not a lot of focus and direction. But damn it, it was fun watching for what silly or gory or stupid things that would happen. Next, definitely every ounce of this budget went into whatever effects they were using. And these were pretty most part practical effects. If you're looking for a fun time with a good old gore, this just may give you some bloody satisfaction. But all in all, it's a gooey head stomping monkey's paw meh. But the last scene to me was Mondo. But I've got a couple of things to unpack. Okay, so how gooey and moist was Slashtastic? And why was he gooey and moist all the way through it? Like, did any of that goo and moisture dry out?
Apparently it doesn't dry. Apparently it doesn't dry.
It just stays moist. He was moist the entire movie. And I know some people don't like that word, but moist is like one of my favorite words. So seeing Slashtastic wearing moistness through the entire movie was quite enjoyable. And does anybody know what the bloody amulet scene changes were?
No,
nobody knows. Not even the director or the writer knows.
Love this movie as much as we did, because this is like right up your alley. It's your stupid 80s horror films that you like.
No, this was not. No.
This was way funner than those terrible slasher movies. It was Slashtastic.
No, it wasn't. It was craptastic.
Okay, so I have another question for you. What was that skull puppet with the cinder block on its head?
Who cares? Who gives a crap? It was all garbage. Why are we still talking about this piece of garbage movie? Can we move on?
Well, two of us liked it.
It's terrible.
Because it was fun.
It wasn't fun. It was dumb.
I wonder if the title of that cinder block demon was Cinder Block.
I don't care. And neither did the writer or the director. They're just throwing crap against the wall. They didn't know what they were filming. They probably didn't even film it in order. They just filmed it all over the place. It didn't matter where they put scenes. You could take every scene, switch them all around, and you'd have the same movie because none of it made sense.
Yes, that's what makes it so good.
Yeah, that's what makes it so good. It's just fantastic. You got to get it on DVD so you can go to scene 7, then go back to scene 4, then go to scene 12, then go to scene 3.
And I kind of like to do it.
And then you're like, yeah, it made just as much sense as doing it in order.
I want to buy this movie and put it on random play every time so that I get a different scene, and it might change the movie a little bit.
Can't make it any worse.
True enough. True enough. Okay, so we've only done 3 movies this week. It was a slow week for us. But I have to throw it out there, Bryce. Apparently it's not Skull the Mask.
No.
But what was your fried berry of the week so far?
There is no fried berry of the week.
Because everything was meh or rage.
Everything just was.
Well, my fried berry of the week is Emma Thompson. I like her in this movie.
Okay. I guess my fried berry of the week was the Cruella music.
Nice. Murray, did you have a fried berry moment of the week?
Oh, let's go with Hector. I liked Hector.
Hey, who doesn't like Hector?
Hey, Hector.
It kind of reminded me of the one of my favorite John Candy movies was Summer Rental, where he rents a cabin, rents a house for the summer, and then basically has an asshole for a landlord. Challenged him to a boat race, and was it Rip Torn, guy from the Men in Black movies, plays a pirate, and he has a guy working for him, Spanish guy, speaks like no English at all. That's who Hector reminded me of. Might have been the same actor, I don't know, but that was like 40 years ago. But yeah, so he reminded me of that guy. He was lovable.
Nice.
Dude.
Okay, well that's enough. That's enough fried berry for the week.
Yeah.
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
Well, this week, my rage, which I kind of already started alluding to, is 100% on Disney live action movies. And I'm double raging on them making these stupid, terrible anti-villain movies. Just stop doing it. Make an original movie with original characters and original writing. They could have easily written an origin story and not called it in Cruella. It could have been, this movie could have been a Mondo if they hadn't have made it Cruella. If they would have made it anything else, they could have made a brand new movie, called it something completely different, not tied it to 101 Dalmatians at all. The only reason that they didn't do that is because no one would have watched it. It's like our entire society is built on people who want to just keep watching the same fucking Triton movies that we get all the time. And it sickens me. I can't stand when they take an animated feature and turn it into a movie. And now I can't stand them putting anti-villains and making us try to like them. Just Disney, start writing original material. Quit buying up franchises and making sequels and start writing original movies. That's my rage. I'm so pissed about it.
Yeah. Well, and they're remaking their own movies. Like they can't just leave stuff well alone. I mean,
Not a remake.
one of the very few cartoons I actually liked was Lion King. There was no need to do anything. It was a classic. No need to make it live action.
Yes.
No reason at all. It was good the way it was.
Timon and Pumbaa were awesome.
Exactly. Stop wrecking stuff. That's what I say to Disney.
Stop Disneyfying everything, you fucking fuckers.
Exactly. They only run the whole world.
Yeah.
Is your rage on the skull? Was that your rage for the week?
I think my rage might be maybe they don't do enough of the anti-hero movies. Maybe we need more of them.
Okay, I'm changing my rage. My rage is Bryce this week. What's wrong with you? You are mentally ill.
I mean, the concept of doing
Are you just trying to make me angrier?
No, I think it was a good concept.
It was a good concept, but it didn't need to be fucking Cruella. They could have made that movie, and it could have been, if you didn't have the ties at the end to Cruella de Vil, and you didn't call her Cruella de Vil, you just created an origin story of this person named Betty Boop, or whatever the hell her name was. That movie would have been a Mondo, but because they kept tying in this Disney shit, it turned it into a meh.
Huh.
Well,
Oh, it
here's-
was a meh.
And here's my question: this live action remake, I mean, with how dark it was it actually designed for kids to watch this? Because I mean,
I'd
kids
say
will
it's
love
PG.
because kids love
I'd
the
say
original
it's PG.
cartoon.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
see,
it wasn't for lovers of 101 Dalmatian per se.
Yeah, and it wasn't kids who like
No.
cartoons. It was
It
dark.
was for those who watched 101 Dalmatians like 25 to 40 years
Yeah,
ago.
when
when
it
we were
came out.
kids.
Yeah.
And now, they're between 40 and 60 years old. And
But you can't
enjoy
watch,
it.
you
And
can't
they're
watch
like,
with your kids.
You know what?
So what's the
you know
point?
what's missing from my movie diet? What's missing from my movie diet is a movie tied to 101 Dalmatians, which is one of the worst Disney movies they ever made to begin with.
Yes, I agree.
That's
And
how
there's
I
like-
felt too, Jim. But now it's not because Cruella exists.
There you go.
I just wish it was a little better.
And for $35, you can watch it.
But the concept was great. And $35, a little steep, but
Little.
If
Not
if
bad,
they made
not
it,
bad.
if they didn't call it Cruella and they made original characters and didn't have all that stupid tie into 101 Dalmatians, this could have been a Mondo. And they cut 20 minutes out of it.
yeah, they need to cut 20 minutes out of it. They needed to get rid of the CGI dogs. I'm okay with them using CGI intermittently when it comes to animals,
Yes.
but pull the camera back and like when they're throwing dogs across the room and whatever, like in that one scene that there was obviously CGI, that one dog when they like smacked it across the
Yep.
room. Absolutely. But
They could
but
have
they
taken
had some weird CGI in that movie.
they had some, and the evolution of her loving dogs. She even had a pet dog through the entire movie. And then they had the other dog that she loves it. And for her to go from loving dogs to killing Dalmatians.
That was my problem, because at the end she actually she also seemed to adopt the Dalmatians, and they were all chummy. So yeah,
Well, I think she made
it
a
didn't
coat out of them.
explain it didn't explain like why. No, she didn't make a coat out of them.
Well, that's what freaked out Emma Thompson, because she made a coat out of the dogs. That's what she goes. You made a coat. You made my dog.
No, she said, she alluded that she thought was that coat
But it
made out of
wasn't.
my dogs, but it wasn't.
Oh, right, because they were whatever. You know what?
He ended up
You're
with the dogs in the end.
Your rage is dumb, and
I have no rage.
You have no rage this week. You used it all up on the skull.
so I just want to say this week
My
we're
rage
not-
this week
We're
is
changing the name from Film Rage this week to
At Brazilian
film,
horror movies.
to film Skull the Mask.
Wait a second. My rage this week. Nah.
Are you looking up
I
in the
got no
dictionary, encyclopedia?
I was looking at like past rages and see if I could get it inspired, but I got nothing. I got nothing but weak sauce, man. It's weak sauce.
My weekly
what?
rage. My weekly rage is why aren't theaters open? But that's
Well,
every week.
you know what? We need to obviously transition this into some joy, apparently. So let's
Let's
close this book.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
Okay, I guess I'm up. Yeah, where did you go, Dennis Quaid? This week we had a chance to watch The Blue Miracle, starring Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid, where the hell have you been? I mean, really, where have you been? Definitely not one of his finest roles. So I thought I'd look back at memorable performances in his career, good and bad, to remind myself that he used to be a good actor. Now, these are only the films that I have seen. So here goes. Starting at the bottom, we got Jaws 3D from 1983. Best kind of 3D, but it was such a bad movie. But yeah, shark bits flying at you. Yeah. And Quaid was easily the best thing in it, apart from the 3D. Then we got Inner Space, 1987. Really, this was more of a Martin Short film, but I mean, who doesn't love Martin Short?
Who doesn't?
SCTV rules, baby. One of my favorite comedies, and Meg Ryan actually in her prime. Then we got Great Balls of Fire, 1989. Played the killer, Jerry Lee Lewis.
Goodness gracious.
Not a fantastic biopic, but it was entertaining. Did you know that Lewis married his 14-year-old cousin, played by Winona Ryder?
Sure did.
Or that the preacher Jimmy Swaggart was his other cousin, played by Alec Baldwin?
Sure did.
Mhm.
I sure didn't until I saw the film.
Thank God that movie came out.
Exactly. And he learned how to play the piano for the movie. So there you go. Next up, we have Dragonheart, 1996. I mean, come on. Sean Connery as a talking dragon doesn't get any better than that.
It doesn't. It just doesn't.
Quaid as a knight, sort of. Lots of dragon breathing fire action. I find it very entertaining, actually. Next up, we have Any Given Sunday, 1999. Football. I love football. Plus, the cast, Al Pacino, Dennis Quaid, James Woods, even Cameron Diaz was okay. And it was an Oliver Stone film. And next up, we have Frequency from 2000. Very underrated film. Basically, his son communicates with his dead father through radio equipment and basically tries to save his life in the future. Quaid and Jim Caviezel, great team up. And finally, we have Traffic, 2000. Well, again, 2000 must have been Quaid's year. Lots of moving parts in this film, but he was awesome as a drug dealer, sleazy lawyer who tried to help Catherine Zeta-Jones the whole film. Now, there are a lot of movies I did not include that I haven't seen, but I have some homework to do. But there are some of his better reviewed films. The Right Stuff from 1983. He played an astronaut. The Big Easy, 1986, with Ellen Barkin, John Goodman, and Ned Beatty. Actually, I think I do remember this one. That one was pretty good. Then we got DOA, 1988. It was a thriller reteaming with Meg Ryan again. I seem to recall this one too. It was actually pretty good too. Then we have Wyatt Earp, 1994. A Western with Kevin Costner and Gene Hackman. Yes, please. The point is, Dennis Quaid used to be a good actor, so don't judge him by the Blue Miracle.
Is that all the juice you got, Mur?
That's all my juice for this week. It's too hot.
It's super hot.
Too damn hot.
It's bag stuck to leg hot today. Okay. Oh,
Oh yeah, that's me too, I guess.
yeah, man. We got to talk about the
All right, then.
list.
Oh,
Did
apparently,
you have something, Mur?
no, not this week. I don't. No.
Okay, well, I think we got to talk about a couple things. Number one, apparently Emma Stone is safe because we gave her a meh on her last film, and her previous film was a mondo, so she's still in the Undoubted people.
What
But-
was her previous film?
Zombieland 2, which is a triple mondo. from the
Double
three of us.
tap.
Yep.
That was really her last film?
Yeah, it was.
It was only like a year and a half ago.
Yep.
This whole
She
pandemic thing.
did like a short. So she did Cruella. She did like a cartoon. She did another cartoon. She did like a 1-minute thing, and previous to that was Zombieland Double Tap. So Emma, you are still in, girl. You are still in. But it needs to be brought up that we need to now talk about Emma Thompson.
What do we need to talk about?
We need to talk about
What list is she in?
what level of terrible movies that she has been in, and I'm putting her forward for the Doubted.
Oh, there's no way.
Doubted? Wow, that's
Oh,
harsh.
not hey. Okay, well, why don't you take notes here, pen man, with your pen and your paper, and did I mention your pen? So we've got Cruella from, we're going backwards today. We got 2021's Cruella, which was a meh.
It was a meh.
We got Doolittle, which
Wasn't
was
that
a rage.
That was a
It was a rage. It was a double rage. Then we have Last Christmas, which Bryce says is a meh, but I know it would be a rage for me. I don't have to see it. Then we've got How to Build a Girl, which I have not seen.
It looks good.
It looks terrible, but write it down.
It's written.
Then we've got Men in Black International, which was a rage.
Hey.
And it wasn't just a rage.
I thought it was okay.
Was it a
It was
Mondo though,
awful.
Murray?
No,
Was it
I
a
didn't-
Mondo?
No, it's
Yeah.
a third movie or fourth movie in the series. Couldn't be a Mondo.
Yeah. Okay. Then she made Missing Link, which is a cartoon. Then she did Late Night, which was a rage.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
That was the
Okay,
one-
so
that was the one with Mindy, whatever, right?
Yeah. Well,
yep, it's with Mindy. Yep.
the Office Girl or whatever.
Okay, so you're giving her a meh, but I can 100% guarantee you're not giving this a meh to save
All
her,
right.
which is
All right.
Johnny English Strikes Again, which is a complete rage.
I'm trying to. I don't know if I've seen that, but yeah.
Well, put it down because I've seen it and it's a rage.
Add to the list. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so how many movies is that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Johnny English is 7 back.
Okay, so this could be. Oh, this is a narrator. Okay, then I haven't seen this, but King Lear, she was in.
King Lear is 8 back.
Oh wait, it's 8.
Yeah.
Oh wait, it's a TV movie. It doesn't count.
Okay.
So she was in.
Beauty and the Beast. Was that a remake?
No, she was in the Children Act.
Was that a movie?
Apparently.
Oh,
Okay.
Children Act was that was.
Yeah, I don't know that.
I'm pretty sure the Children Act might have been Mondo.
That
Let's not
could be
forget
the
she was
stopper.
in she was in like all of Bridget Jones's movies too. So
Yeah, that's back further though.
you don't
So
have to, don't have to
after
see it.
Johnny English is the Children's Act. So if it's a Mondo, then she's safe. But Bryce, you have to really dig hard to remember. We may have to go see it. Because if it's a meh, she's gone. Yeah. So I'm saying.
Don't have to convince me.
So
I never
Bryce, are we gonna
anyway.
rewatch? Are you gonna rewatch the Children Act? Or are we gonna try and see that for next week? Or do you know it's a Mondo 100%? Try it.
I don't know. I don't know. It's 100% Mondo. I'm trying to remember. I remember it a little bit. I think I liked it. I'm not 100% sure.
Well,
So-
okay, people, stay tuned next week. Emma Thompson could be doubted,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
isn't it?
Well,
Maybe I need to
She's-
watch Last Christmas again. Maybe it was a Mondo.
It's not a Mondo.
I'm sure
I can
it was.
100%. I can 100% guarantee that's
It
not a
had
Mondo.
that. It has
And if
that. That's that. What's her
Okay.
head in it?
yeah, from
Okay,
Game of
now-
Thrones that you don't
Now
watch.
Yeah.
you're literally pissing me off because it's a Christmas
I
movie,
think
romance
it might-
movie.
It's exactly. It's a Christmas movie.
It's a
that's
Hallmark
Okay,
movie.
a
so
romantic
Do you
comedy.
want to watch both of these movies? Are you trying to talk yourself into watching these movies twice? Both of them?
Maybe I'd enjoy watching Last Christmas.
Okay, well, which one do you want to watch first?
I'm not watching Last Christmas again. It was nice though. It was a nice little movie, and it had heart.
I
And it
hate
had
you
a
right
good-
now.
It had a good
absolutely
message.
Mistress.
I hate
It-
everything about you except the color of your shirt.
After watching it, you just felt better about the world.
I never feel better about the world. Okay, so
It was
stay
an
tuned,
uplifting
everybody.
Experience.
Next week, we will have watched, if we can get it, the Children Act. And if it's a meh, Emma Thompson is officially doubted, people.
Yeah, I think it was pretty good.
Well, we're going to find out.
You just
All right.
telling
I
yourself
guess
that.
we are.
That's it. That's it for the list this week.
All right.
Mm.
Unless Bryce has something juicy up his sleeve.
I got nothing.
All right.
All right. Last week on Rage or Dare, Jim and Bryce got to experience the full scoop of my ice creamy goodness. They were lucky enough to pull the star-studded epic 2 almost 3 hours minute of action adventure called Alexander from 2004, about the greatest conqueror this world has ever known. Unfortunately, this was not that kind of movie. This week, Bryce will get to choose from Jim's rag bag or go to the listener's dare bag. Let's check in first with Bryce to see if Angelina Jolie can pull off the role of her life when she tries to act old enough to be Colin Farrell's mom, who she was only 1 year older than.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Don't
you give it a mono. This was my bag, and I'm like, my middle name is Alexander, for God's sakes. This is like my favorite historical figure, and I was so loving this movie, and I had to rage about it. So,
well, let's see how much Bryce liked this one.
Well, Murray, you don't have to worry. This movie is an incoherent mess, and I reckon to say that I may never again see a group of talented folks make something this bad ever again. Oliver Stone directing, Colin Farrell, Anthony Hopkins, Angelina Jolie, Christopher Plummer, Rosario Dawson, Jared Leto, and Val Kilmer. Seems like on some level this should be enjoyable. There must be one performance in that talented group that at least makes part of this watchable. Sadly, that is not the case. Everyone in this felt like they knew that they were in a bad movie. They all say their lines with little conviction, or in some cases, such as Farrell, there's a feeling that he is perhaps trying too hard. Perhaps he's trying to impress Oliver Stone. I don't know what he was doing. The end result is a painful 7 or so hours that you can never get back. If there was ever a movie that I felt there is no way that I would ever watch it again, it is this movie. But that is the joy of our Rage or Dare segment. I would like to add to the fact that those who blame Colin Farrell being cast as Alexander as the reason that this was a bad movie obviously have not watched the movie. There is no actor walking the face of the earth that could have delivered these lines in a way that would make this film watchable on any level. Except maybe Mark Ruffalo, but I digress. I can now take solace in the fact that I now will never have to experience this turd of a movie ever again. This was a painful, excruciating rage.
Oh, Murray. Oh my fucking God. What the fuck was this film? Colin Farrell as the son of Angelina Jolie, speaking in an accent and a language that I don't understand. This whole movie is like, what is this movie even about, and why did anybody care? So many huge actors in historical drama where the dialogue is so boring and awful. There's nothing interesting happening anytime, ever, anyone is on screen. It is basically one boring speech after another, after another, after another. Reading Encyclopedia Britannica would be way more interesting than watching the movie Alexander. And I would fall asleep less if I got to read Encyclopedia Britannica about this real life character. Can we just talk now about what fucking dialogue they were supposedly working on? You have every single person in this with a different dialect, and then they say it's Greece. Okay, so I've been to Greece. No one talks like that. And it never stopped. Never stopped. Every single person was putting on some weird accent that wasn't Greek. It wasn't British. It wasn't anything. It was just so painful to watch. I couldn't bear it. And Anthony Hopkins' narrative, oh my God, so fucking annoying. The best thing in this movie was when Jared Leto's character chooses to die to stop having to listen to another speech by fucking Colin Farrell. By the time I got to the end of this movie, I was sitting in a corner, holding my legs in my arms, ticking back and forth, staring into the darkness, wishing I had been nicer to Murray throughout our entire friendship, and wished for the days when we only had to pull musicals from his bag. Murray, I am sorry.
Right.
I am so terribly sorry I have ever raged on your terrible movies that are your favorites. Please don't make me ever watch this movie ever again. This film was a star-studded, gutted Greek tragedy of rage. And just like the 2 hours and 55 minutes that came before it, it ended with another terrible, boring soliloquy of pain and suffering to my brain. We've talked about this before. We know what anal tears feel like. This was a tear to my actual soul. After watching this movie, I felt the only way that I could properly prepare my soul is to watch as much dirty gore porn that I could think of to make my mind feel better and my soul relaxed.
How did you get a 2 hour and 55 minute version? Because I definitely watched a 7 hour
You
version.
think it was 7 hours?
I am positive it was 7 hours.
Well, it felt like 7 hours. I do know that.
Did I watch the director's cut?
I think you watched you know how Oliver Stone likes to make his cuts? You watched the Oliver Stone extended version cut.
Maybe you watched
the Oliver Stone mega cut.
Maybe you watched
Alexander.
Maybe you watched JFK after that and didn't realize it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Wasn't that 4 hours long?
No, if I would have watched JFK after, I would have been quite content because I like JFK. That was a good movie.
I like a lot of Oliver Stone, but I don't know what happened.
JFK just man. That was awesome.
Kind of ended my love affair with Oliver Stone. This movie, like the biggest, like I said, I'm a huge Alexander the Great fan. I've been learned about it in school. The fact that I have the same name, and yeah, he conquered half the world before he was 20. It's a 3 hour movie. They spent 10 minutes showing him actually in battle, and another hour and a half exploring his sexuality. Like,
well,
what the hell is this movie?
Don't forget his soliloquies. There's too many soliloquies.
Yeah, like
Murray.
it wasn't a war film about a great conqueror. It was crap. I was so pissed off when I saw this.
Well, don't forget the 1 year age difference between Angelina Jolie looked younger than him the whole movie.
That was a big deal too. I couldn't stop thinking about the whole movie. I'm like, they're the same freaking age.
That didn't bother me. She's such a spectacular actress.
It didn't even bother to age her.
She was acting 15 years older. I bought it.
They could have at least put makeup on and aged her to look a little older. I mean, stupid.
The only thing that would have made this movie worse if actually Mark Ruffalo was in this movie.
Maybe he was.
There were a lot of bad. I'm not saying he would have pulled it off. I'm just saying he could have.
Maybe he's one of the soldiers who died 5 minutes into the movie. Who knows?
My soul would have died a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
Well, Bryce, what are you going to choose this week, buddy? What are you picking?
What are my choices? Either yours.
You've got both bags, mine or the Dare bag.
I'm going to the Dare bag because it's guaranteed goodness.
You think so?
And I've watched enough crap lately, so I'm ready for something enjoyable.
Ready for some happy?
Oh, look at he bitches every week that we don't have enough rage for him, and now he's choosing Dare.
Well, I mean, you call mine ice creamy goodness. I call it a bucket of rage. I should have just actually written on the side of the thing. It's a bucket of rage because every movie in that is guaranteed to make him rage. Every movie.
Kiddie movie. Is this a kiddie movie?
What is it?
It's The Last Airbender. What the hell is that?
Yeah, no, it's a youngish
kiddie movie.
No, it's not kiddie, but it's a young adult-ish. It's like, I remember.
Like tweens.
I don't think you're gonna like it.
No,
it's M. Night Shyamalan's version of kids movies.
Yeah, and it's like an Asian.
It's like Spy Kids, but
time
done M. Night Shyamalan.
Thing, and it's M. Night Shyamalan.
You're gonna absolutely love this movie. Thank God you went to the Dare bag.
Yeah, you may actually.
I'm not sure that I am. I don't think this is up my alley. I'm actually.
I think you might really like this. There's lots of kids.
As I recall,
there's lots of CGI. There's lots of CGI.
Yeah.
And it's M. Night Shyamalan. You love M. Night Shyamalan.
There you go.
I don't like CGI.
And you can watch it on Tubi TV for free.
Is it on?
Yeah,
TV?
There you go.
I like watching stuff on Tubi.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, I'm becoming a fan too.
All right, Last Airbender.
Last Airbender.
I don't know. I have no idea what to expect out of this.
I'm surprised you never saw it.
The fans say it's a rage, so let's see.
As do Murray and I. So enjoy that special treat. Well, thanks again, Ragers, for listening. Rage love to Julene from It Goes Down in the PM podcast, and James, our 2 member subscribers. Thanks to our extended film Rage crew of Leonard Conlon for statistic vision and photography via Leonard Conlon Photography. For Bex Goose for her cartooning skills at Potato Lady Podcast Reviews.com. Thanks to our sponsor, Canyon Meadows Cinema. Please go and support your local independent cinemas near you as they need your help. Find us on social media at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Film Rage YYC. Check out everything Film Rage at filmrageyyc.com, including our merch site for Redbubble and TeePublic. Look what we look like. How about you look and see what we look like on YouTube channel by searching Film Rage Podcast. We are always wanting to make this a raging blast for all listeners, so please comment, like, and subscribe, or send us an email to filmragecalgary@gmail.com. Dare us to see terrible movies to fuel our rage, but no matter what you do, please make us rage. Just please. Please. That's it for this week. Rage on.
Rage
Rage
on.